Close your eyes for a moment. Picture this. It's Christmas morning, 1975. You're sitting in your pajamas on the living room floor, surrounded by wrapping paper. The smell of coffee brewing in the kitchen. Bing Crosby playing softly on the record player. And there it is. The toy you'd been circling in the Sears wish book for 3 months. The one you'd dreamed about every single night. The one you'd begged Santa for in your letter. You tear open that wrapping paper, and the moment you see that box, pure magic. Today's kids will never know that feeling. They'll never understand what it was like to want one toy so badly that you thought about it every waking moment. To wait months for it. To treasure it because you knew you weren't getting another one until your birthday. I'm the Nostalgia Nest, and today we're taking a trip back to the Christmas mornings of the 1970s. Back when toys weren't just plastic and batteries. They were gateways to imagination, adventure, and memories that would last a lifetime. These are 20 vintage Christmas toys that only 70s kids remember. And I guarantee at least 5 of these will hit you right in the heart. Let's go back. Number 1. Lite-Brite. Lite-Brite, making things with light. What a sight, making things with Lite-Brite. If you just sang that jingle in your head, you're one of us. Lite-Brite was simple. A light box, colored pegs, and black paper with dot patterns. But to a 70s kid, it was art. You'd spend hours carefully placing those tiny pegs, creating glowing pictures of clowns, flowers, rainbows. And the best part? Turning off all the lights in your room and watching your creation glow. It felt like magic. Today's kids have iPads where they can create digital art with a finger swipe. But they'll never know the satisfaction of physically placing each peg, one by one, and seeing something beautiful emerge from darkness. Lite-Brite taught patience, precision, the joy of creating something with your own hands. Under the tree in 1975, this was a prize. Number 2. Simon. 4 colored buttons, 4 tones. One simple rule. Repeat the pattern. Simon was the electronic game that made you feel like a genius, until level 8, when you'd inevitably mess up, and that buzzer would mock your failure. Red, blue, yellow, green. The sequence would get longer and longer, and you'd be so focused, tongue sticking out, desperately trying to remember the pattern. No screen, no graphics, just lights and sounds. And somehow, it was addictive. Your friends would gather around watching you play, cheering when you got it right, groaning when you hit the wrong button. Today's kids have games with 4K graphics, online multiplayer, and infinite levels. But Simon? Simon was pure, simple, challenging fun that required nothing but your memory and reflexes. Christmas morning, 1978. If you unwrapped Simon, you were the coolest kid on the block. Number 3. The Evel Knievel stunt cycle. Evel Knievel wasn't just a daredevil, he was a legend. And every 70s boy wanted to recreate his death-defying stunts in their own living room. This toy was genius in its simplicity. You'd place the motorcycle in the Energizer, crank it up, that winding sound building anticipation, and then release. That bike would launch across the room at breakneck speed, flying off ramps, crashing spectacularly. You'd set up elaborate obstacle courses, stacks of books, cardboard boxes, your little sister's dollhouse. The goal? To see how far Evel could fly before wiping out. And wipe out he did. Constantly. But that was half the fun. Today's kids have remote-controlled drones and app-connected robots. But the Evel Knievel stunt cycle required imagination. You created the stunts. You built the ramps. You were the director of your own action movie. Under the tree in 1974, this toy meant hours of entertainment and dozens of spectacular crashes. Number 4. Stretch Armstrong. A blonde, muscular action figure filled with some kind of mysterious gel that allowed you to stretch him to 4 times his size. And stretch him we did. We pulled his arms, we pulled his legs, we tied him in knots, we hung him from doorknobs. We did everything we could to see if he would break. He never did. Stretch Armstrong was indestructible. Until that one kid in the neighborhood inevitably punctured him with a thumbtack, and that weird corn syrup gel oozed out everywhere. But until that tragic day, Stretch Armstrong was the ultimate test of durability. He survived being stretched, squished, frozen, and used as a jump rope. Today's toys come with warning labels about every possible danger. Stretch Armstrong came with an unspoken challenge. Do your worst. Christmas 1976. Unwrapping Stretch Armstrong meant you had the toughest toy on the block. Number 5. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Red Rocker versus Blue Bomber. 2 plastic robots, 2 controllers, 1 mission. Knock your opponent's block off. Literally. You'd frantically mash those buttons, throwing wild haymakers until, boom! One robot's head would pop up with that satisfying click sound, and victory was yours. You knocked my block off! This was the ultimate sibling rivalry settler. No complicated rules, no strategy, just pure button-mashing chaos until someone's robot got decapitated. The beauty of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, it was physical. You could see the punches, you could hear the impact. When you won, you felt it. Today's kids play fighting games on screens with 50-hit combos and special moves. We had 2 buttons and 2 robots, and somehow, it was more satisfying. Christmas morning, if you and your brother unwrapped Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you knew the rest of the day would be spent settling scores. Number 6. Baby Alive. The doll that ate food, drank water, and, well, did what babies do. Baby Alive came with packets of special food that you'd mix with water and spoon-feed to the doll. She'd chew with her mechanical mouth, and then later, you'd have to change her diaper because, yes, what goes in must come out. For little girls in the 70s, this was the ultimate practice for motherhood. It was realistic, it was messy, it was work. And you know what? Kids loved it. Because it felt real. You were responsible for something. You had to feed it, clean it, take care of it. Today's dolls talk, walk, and connect to apps. But Baby Alive? She taught responsibility through the most basic of human needs. Eating and, well, you know. Christmas, 1973. Unwrapping Baby Alive meant you were officially a caretaker. And you took that job seriously. Number 7. Easy Bake Oven. A toy oven powered by a 100-watt light bulb that somehow managed to bake actual edible cakes. The cakes were tiny, about the size of a hockey puck. They took 20 minutes to bake, and they tasted, well, like cake mix cooked under a light bulb. But to a 70s kid, this was real baking. You'd mix the batter in those tiny pans, slide them into the oven, and wait impatiently while that light bulb worked its magic. And when that little cake came out, you felt like a professional chef. You'd decorate it with the included frosting, cut it into even tinier pieces, and serve it to your family like you just won a baking competition. Today's kids watch cooking videos on YouTube and order DoorDash. We learned to bake with a light bulb and a dream. Easy Bake Oven taught patience, following directions, and the satisfaction of creating something from scratch. even if it was just a 2-bite cake. Christmas morning, unwrapping an Easy Bake oven meant you were opening your own bakery. Number 8. Weebles. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Egg-shaped little people with weighted bottoms that made them impossible to knock over. You could push them, tip them, throw them across the room. They'd wobble dramatically and then pop right back up. Weebles came with elaborate play sets, tree houses, haunted houses, circus sets, and you'd spend hours making them wobble through their little plastic worlds. The genius of Weebles? They were indestructible and entertaining. Toddlers loved them because they couldn't break them. Older kids loved them because they were oddly satisfying to watch. Today's toys have so many small parts, batteries, and fragile pieces. Weebles were simple, sturdy, and endlessly entertaining. Christmas 1972. If you got the Weebles treehouse, you had the hottest toy of the year. Number 9. Spirograph. Plastic gears, colored pens, and geometric magic. You'd place a gear inside a ring, stick your pen in one of the holes, and trace around the inside. What emerged were these intricate, mesmerizing geometric patterns that looked like professional art. Every design was unique. You could layer colors, change gears, experiment with different hole positions. Hours would disappear as you created page after page of mathematical art. Spirograph taught geometry without you even realizing it. You learned about ratios, patterns, symmetry, all while thinking you were just making cool pictures. Today's kids have digital drawing apps with undo buttons and filters. We had plastic gears and the understanding that if you messed up, you started over. Spirograph rewarded patience and precision. And when you created that perfect design, you felt like an artist. Christmas morning, unwrapping a spirograph meant your bedroom walls were about to be covered in geometric masterpieces. Number 10. The Big Wheel. The low-riding plastic tricycle that made every 70s kid feel like they were driving a race car. You'd pedal that thing as fast as your little legs could go, lean into turns, and pull the handbrake to do those epic 360-degree spin-outs that would leave black skid marks on the driveway. The sound of those plastic wheels on concrete. Whew, that was the soundtrack of summer. And Christmas morning? If you got a big wheel, you were riding it up and down the hallway until your parents made you take it outside. In December, in your pajamas, because you couldn't wait. The front wheel was huge. You sat so low to the ground that you felt the speed in your bones. And when you hit a bump, you'd catch air, and for a split second, you were Evel Knievel. Today's kids have electric scooters and hoverboards. We had pedal power, plastic, and pure determination. Big Wheel didn't need batteries. It needed fearless kids willing to take that hill at full speed and pray the brakes worked at the bottom. Christmas 1977. A big wheel under the tree meant you were the king of the sidewalk. Number 11. Viewmaster. Before virtual reality, before 3D movies, there was Viewmaster. A red plastic viewer and paper reels that transported you to another world. You'd slide in a reel, click the lever, and suddenly you were standing at the Grand Canyon. Click. Now you're meeting Mickey Mouse at Disneyland. Click. Now you're watching a scene from Star Wars in stunning 3D. Each reel had 7 stereoscopic images, and you'd go through them over and over, mesmerized by the depth and detail. The images seemed to pop right out at you. Viewmaster reels covered everything. Tourist destinations, cartoons, TV shows, educational content. You could travel the world without leaving your living room. Today's kids have VR headsets with 360-degree immersive experiences. We had a plastic viewer and paper discs, and somehow it felt just as magical. Viewmaster sparked curiosity. It made you want to visit those places for real. It taught you about the world through 3D images that seemed impossibly futuristic. Christmas morning, if you got a Viewmaster with a stack of new reels, you were about to take a journey around the world, 7 clicks at a time. Number 12. Hungry, hungry hippos. 4 plastic hippos. 1 pile of marbles. Total chaos. This wasn't a game of strategy or skill. This was a game of who could smash their lever the fastest and most violently. You'd pound that button like your life depended on it, watching your hippo lunge forward again and again, desperately trying to gobble up more marbles than your opponents. The sound? Ugh! Deafening. Clack, 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 clack. Marbles flying everywhere, kids screaming, hippos chomping. And when the dust settled, you'd count your marbles. The kid with the most won bragging rights until the next round started 30 seconds later. Hungry, hungry hippos was pure, unfiltered competition. No complicated rules, no reading required, just reflexes and determination. Today's kids play strategic board games with complex mechanics. We had 4 hungry hippos and the understanding that the fastest smasher wins. Christmas morning, if your family unwrapped hungry, hungry hippos, you knew the rest of the day would be loud. Number 13. Etch-a-Sketch. 2 white knobs, a grey screen, aluminum powder, and a stylus inside. And somehow, you could draw anything. The left knob moved the line horizontally. The right knob moved it vertically. And if you were talented enough to use both knobs at the same time, you could draw curves, circles, even portraits. Most of us could barely draw a decent staircase, but that one artistic kid in class, they could draw the Mona Lisa on an Etch-a-Sketch, and we'd all gather around in awe. The most satisfying part? When you were done, you'd shake it, and everything disappeared. Clean slate. Start over. No eraser needed. Etch-a-Sketch taught hand-eye coordination, patience, and the acceptance that sometimes your masterpiece needs to be destroyed to make room for the next one. Today's kids have drawing tablets with pressure sensitivity and undo buttons. We had 2 knobs, and the knowledge that one wrong turn meant starting completely over. Christmas morning, unwrapping an Etch-a-Sketch meant hours of drawing, shaking, and trying to beat your personal best. Number 14. Hot Wheels track sets. Those little die-cast cars were cool, but the track sets, that's where the real magic happened. You'd spend an hour setting up elaborate orange tracks, loops, curves, straightaways, jumps. You'd connect pieces, adjust angles, test stability. And then came the moment of truth, releasing that car at the top and watching it race through your custom course. Would it make the loop? Would it fly off the jump? Would it crash spectacularly at the curve? The best part was the experimentation. You'd adjust the track height, change the angle, try different cars. You were an engineer, a designer, a test driver, all before age 10. And when you finally got that perfect run, where the car made it through the entire course without crashing, whew, victory. Today's kids have video games where they can build virtual racetracks with perfect physics. We had plastic orange tracks, gravity, and trial and error. Hot Wheels taught problem solving, physics, and persistence. And it taught us that sometimes the crashes are more fun than the perfect run. Christmas morning, if you got the Hot Wheels Supercharger set, you were building a track empire. Number 15. Operation. The game that made you feel like a surgeon and then immediately reminded you that you'd never survive medical school. Poor Cavity Sam lying there on the table with all his ailments, butterflies in the stomach, water on the knee, a broken heart, spare ribs. And your job? Remove them with metal tweezers without touching the sides. One wrong move and... Dzz, his nose lights up red and everyone knows you failed. Operation required the steadiest hands and nerves of steel. You'd hold your breath, slowly guide those tweezers toward the funny bone, and dzz. Failure. The kid with the steadiest hands always won. The rest of us learned we should probably pursue other careers. Today's kids play surgery simulator games on tablets. We had actual physical dexterity challenges that made our hands shake with pressure. Operation taught fine motor skills, patience, and the humbling reality that surgery is hard. Christmas morning, unwrapping Operation meant your family was about to discover who had the steadiest hands in the house. Number 16. The 1970s Barbie Dream House. This wasn't just a dollhouse. This was a lifestyle. The 70s Dream House had that iconic A-frame design, bright orange and yellow furniture, shag carpeting, and an elevator that actually worked. It was 3 stories of pure 70s aesthetic, complete with that groovy wallpaper and mod furniture. You'd spend hours arranging furniture, moving Barbie from room to room, creating elaborate storylines. Barbie wasn't just living in a house, she was living in the coolest bachelor pad of the decade. The elevator was the star feature. You'd pull the string and Barbie would ride up and down between floors. Simple mechanics, but to a 70s kid, it was engineering genius. Today's Barbie dream houses have working lights, sounds, and smart home features. The 70s version had cardboard furniture and our imagination, and somehow it was enough. Christmas morning, if you unwrapped the Barbie dream house, you were the envy of every kid on the block, and your Barbie was living her best 70s life. Number 17. The $6 Million Man action figure. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. Steve Austin wasn't just an action figure. He was a bionic superhero. And his toy reflected that. The figure had a bionic eye. You'd look through a hole in the back of his head and see magnified images through his eye. His arm rolled up to reveal bionic circuits. And he had that signature red tracksuit that screamed 1970s cool. You'd send Steve on missions, use his bionic vision to spot enemies, and recreate episodes from the TV show. He could lift heavy objects, in your imagination, run at super speed, when you made him, and jump incredible heights, off the couch. The $6 Million Man represented the future. Bionics, technology, human enhancement. He made science fiction feel possible. Today's action figures have 30 points of articulation and movie-accurate details. Steve Austin had a magnifying glass in his head and our complete devotion. Christmas 1975. Unwrapping the $6 Million Man meant you had the coolest, most technologically advanced action figure in the neighborhood. Number 18. Lincoln Logs. Notched wooden logs that fit together to build cabins, forts, and frontier settlements. Lincoln logs were simple. Brown logs, green roof pieces, and your imagination. You'd stack them carefully, creating walls, adding a roof, building a door, and when you were done, you had a genuine log cabin. The smell of those wooden logs, the satisfying click when they locked together, the pride of building something with your own hands. Lincoln Logs taught architecture, planning, and spatial reasoning. You had to think ahead. How many logs for each wall? Where does the door go? Will the roof fit? And unlike modern building toys with instruction manuals, Lincoln Logs encouraged freestyle building. There was no wrong way. Build a cabin, build a fort, build whatever your imagination created. Today's kids have Minecraft, where they can build infinite digital worlds. We had wooden logs and the understanding that if our cabin collapsed, we'd rebuild it stronger. Christmas morning, unwrapping Lincoln Logs meant you were about to become a frontier architect. Number 19. Micronauts. If you remember Micronauts, you were a serious toy collector. These weren't just action figures, they were an entire universe. Tiny chrome and plastic figures with interchangeable parts, vehicles that transformed, and a backstory about travelers from the microverse. Micronauts were ahead of their time. The figures had magnetic joints that allowed for incredible articulation. The vehicles could combine and reconfigure. The playsets were intricate and detailed. This was the toy line for kids who wanted complexity, who wanted to build and customize, who wanted their toys to have lore. While other kids were playing with basic action figures, Micronaut collectors were creating elaborate battles between Baron Karza and the heroic Micronauts, building custom vehicles and expanding their microverse. Today's toys have apps and digital integration. Micronauts had imagination and the most articulated 3.75-inch figures ever created. Christmas morning, if you got a Micronaut set, you weren't just getting a toy, you were getting an entire universe to explore. And that chrome finish, that was the mark of a premium toy that meant your parents spent serious money on you. And number 20. The toy that defined 1970s absurdity. The pet rock. Yes, a rock in a box with an instruction manual. In 1975, Gary Dahl had a genius or insane idea. Sell ordinary rocks as pets. And America bought 5 million of them at $3.95 each. Each pet rock came in a cardboard carrier with air holes, nestled in a bed of straw, with a 32-page training manual that taught you how to make your rock sit, easy, stay, very easy, and roll over, slightly more challenging. The manual had commands like, come, sit, stay, and attack. The joke was obvious. It's a rock. It does nothing. And that was the point. Pet rocks were the ultimate gag gift, the perfect example of 1970s marketing genius. A commentary on consumer culture wrapped in absurdist humor. Your parents probably thought it was the dumbest thing they'd ever seen. But you loved your pet rock. You named it. You kept it on your dresser. You showed it to your friends. Because in the 1970s, we didn't need toys that beeped, flashed, or connected to Wi-Fi. We could be entertained by a rock with a personality we created entirely in our imagination. Today's kids have robot dogs that respond to voice commands and AI companions. We had rocks. And somehow, we were just as happy. Christmas 1975, if you unwrapped a pet rock, you either had the coolest parents with a sense of humor, or you'd been very, very naughty that year. Okay, pause for a second. We just went through 20 toys that defined Christmas mornings in the 1970s. I want to know, which one hit you the hardest? Which toy brought back that flood of memories? Drop a comment right now with the number and name of your favorite. Was it number 10, the big wheel? Number 1, Lite-Brite? Or maybe number 20, the absurd genius of the pet rock? And here's the real question. Which one do you still have? Because I know some of you kept these treasures. Comment below. Let's see which toy was the most beloved. And if you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, hit that subscribe button. Every week, we're diving into the nostalgia that made the 70s and 80s unforgettable. Now, let's wrap this up. These 20 toys weren't just plastic and metal. They were portals to imagination. They were the reason you woke up at 5 a.m. on Christmas morning, crept down the stairs, and peeked around the corner to see what Santa brought. They were the reason you spent hours on the living room floor, lost in worlds you created. They were the reason you fought with your siblings, made up with your siblings, and created memories that would last a lifetime. Today's toys are incredible. They're technologically advanced, beautifully designed, connected to apps and the internet. But here's what they're missing. the simplicity that forced us to use our imagination. When you had a big wheel, you decided where the adventure went. When you had Lincoln Logs, you designed the cabin. When you had an Etch-a-Sketch, you created the art and accepted that it would disappear. These toys taught us patience, creativity, problem-solving, the value of things that didn't need batteries or Wi-Fi. They taught us that entertainment didn't come from a screen, it came from within. And most importantly, they taught us that the best toys weren't the ones that did everything for you. They were the ones that let you do everything. So, if you were a 70s kid who unwrapped any of these toys on Christmas morning, you were part of something special. A generation that knew how to play, really play. And no amount of technology will ever replace that. Which toy was your number one? Drop a comment and let's debate. And if this video brought back memories, do me a favor, share it with someone who grew up in the 70s. Let's spread the nostalgia. Subscribe to the Nostalgia Nest for more trips back to the decades that made us who we are. I'm your nostalgia partner, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go find my old Etch-a-Sketch.